Back, Alchemist Nation. This is Walter Merle, and you are hanging out on Abundance Thursdays with myself and Vinney Smile Chopra. Vinney, welcome to the show, man. Look at you working out.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Walter. Happy New Year to all the family who are following us, everything. This is Vinney Chopra from San Francisco area in Danville, Blackhawk. And today I'm inside because it's raining outside. It's been raining for last 2 weeks or so. Actually, the storms came so badly that 3 days we had no electricity. We had no electricity for 3 days. Even the New Year Eve, we had no electricity. It was candles and solar lights. As the God will put it in my mind, I bought some solar lights from Amazon and got them charged up. Literally, outside in the sun, when it was sun 2 weeks back, they were there in my office. I said, oh my gosh, not the flashlights, but solar lights can work in darkness. And I brought them in. So it was amazing. We had such great time with the family. New Year Eve, I couldn't see the television, which is good. Less time, on the tube. But no, it was exciting. And now we are back.
You didn't have the internet though, Vinney, right? I mean, you had your cell phone.
Zero internet, zero cable, zero light.
Wow. So Monica, who's
She lives in the city. So she had light. Neil had light at his place. They offered us to come
you
there.
Guys, you and your wife.
Yes, my wife and I, and some family who were here. And we have a gate outside our property. We have a security gate at the entrance in the club, but then we have gate outside. We couldn't open the gate. Actually, we had gone shopping. This is so funny. And I'm clicking all these remotes to open the gate. It's not opening. So I texted or called my friend next door, right? Very good friends of ours. He says, Vinney, the lights is gone. I said, no wonder the gate won't open. So we had to climb into their house fence.
No.
4 of us go in the backyard and come back from our back. We found a way.
You found a way. Well, it's a good thing you stay in shape. It looks like you're climbing a mountain right now. You're on the elliptical, and you got... That's your family behind you, and then you got a picture with an elephant there. So tell me the story about this picture.
This picture is very meaningful. One of my students who really learned a lot, hopefully from me, he sent it in the mail, and I saw it. I said, oh my gosh, there are two elephants, the big elephant and the little elephant. He says, Vinney, you have taught me so much. I want to thank you. I found this, it's a beautiful, like a acrylic, like canvas painting. And he says, I just thought about you. I had to get it to you right away. And that's so kind, yeah.
So Vinney, I got to say, man, I had to pull out my elephant painting. So I've been hanging out with you now for a couple of weeks. This elephant painting has been in my office for like the last 10 years. But I had it over there. And I said, you know what, like, Vinney's putting his elephants out in public. I'm putting my elephants out in public. Let's get them going. So,
no, I've been loving elephants, and you are too. It's amazing. They're beautiful creatures, and very majestic. Of course, giving themselves to the world, with their, of course, horns, which are very, very expensive. And then also, we don't eat elephant meat, but certain parts of the world, they do eat elephant meat and all.
Yep, and they make great. They move mountains. Like these are powerful animals,
yes.
Right? Like,
look at that.
Kids can ride them, so that's good too.
They're so useful. You're so right, and ride them. I love to ride when I go back to India.
So it's they're beautiful creatures, but they're wise, right? And they stick to family, and they remember each other. They remember elephants from long times ago, and they remember people. Really, really interesting animals, but they also are a strong representation of wealth.
You just reminded me of African safari. My wife and I went.
No way.
Gosh. We saw herds and herds and herds of elephants having fun in the dust and all. It was so wonderful. Then in the water, in the canals, and then many of them, maybe had 500 or so of them going in, it was amazing. That was beautiful. We want to go back again. Yeah.
All right. Now I want to go back. So last time an African safari was pitched to me, there was like, we were stalking these lions and there were hyenas. I'm like, that's not my sort of vacation. Like, I like the elephants and the zebras. That sounds like fun.
Yes. No, those were beautiful. We saw lions, we saw everything, all the five, I think, top ones, they say, if you are able to see them. We were able to see in the very first day, all of them. So actually, there was a high, and then we were trying to find them anyway. But that's
After
life,
that, it's,
right?
I hope the
You got to take
conversation's
the
good, right?
opportunity. You got to bask in that opportunity, enjoy, feel good, happy, and then rest 4 or 5 days. I think we were there 7, 9, 8 days. So, we were just having fun. Anyway, yeah, we were in the jungle, in the Africa jungles, and Mr. Khan owned these beautiful hotels. It was really nice. Yeah, I brought back memories when you talked about elephants.
You would look for the hotels, Vinny. You've been buying a lot of real estate. So I want to ask you, because this is tax time, right? Like entrepreneurs
Yes.
are looking at taxes now. You're like in the space of the ultra rich. You serve the ultra rich. You've been hanging around with the ultra rich for a really long time. I know there's tax strategies that only the ultra rich really use. And one of my students, she's multimillionaire. She's very successful. She asked me the other day. She said, like, hey, like, can you do a training for the ultra rich, like tax strategies that we can use for real estate investing? And I told her, I was like, I'll do a lot of research, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask Vinny for a couple of like what he thinks are tax strategies that his clients are using that you're using yourself, because I think that's going to be valuable this time of year. And a lot of our community is becoming high net worth individuals. We built 24
Sure.
millionaires over the last 3 years, and you got to meet 50 of our millionaires at the summit. Before we
Yes.
get into taxes, next week's wealth principle is personality test. Know thyself. And then
Yeah.
the importance of personality tests. You use these in your business, and you must have taken these over the years as a personal development like genius, guru.
Yes.
What is it? Why do you have to know yourself in business?
Very good point. Very, very good point. All of us, Walter, and everybody watching us, we have strengths and weaknesses. Everybody does, even everybody, me included, very much so. But the thing is, there are skills and there are motivations part of it. Skills are something different, but motivation brings behavior. So it's one thing to have the skills, it's other thing to really use those skills to put it into habits and behaviors. So that's why personality and behavior tests are very, very important. I know the very common one is DISC.
Yeah,
D-I-S. Yeah,
my favorite
DIS.
one.
Yeah, dominance and interest, all that. But the key thing is, as an employer, I always want to know what the history is of the person, what their skill set is, experience is, but also the motivation part of it. Are they going to get along? Are they teachable? Are they rigid in their ways? And that's why in an interview, it's better to ask behavioral questions, open-ended, so that they can answer, which will let you see the hidden sense, what their talents are, or how they react to situation. Are they very upbeat? Are they able to put extra mile service? What's their attitude? What's their motivation? And then the whys, where they have come now. So there are a lot of different tests. Anybody could Google them. But the key thing is you got to find and hire the right people. And it's
Absolutely.
true for me too. Like if I hire a partner or join, venture with a partner, you want to know what your strengths are and what their strengths are. They should not be the same. See, we
Right.
always hear complementing each other. If one is very analytical like me, if other person is more into gregarious and relationship building and all, I've got both. But otherwise, it's a good mix. Yeah.
Absolutely. And for you, I've found that you surround yourself with really good technicians, like people who are really good at the doing of big projects, which is why you've skyrocketed your success so much. How do you identify a good partner who'd be good at doing the work? Because I know a lot of like our community are passive investors who just want to put their money into something, but you can't just put your money in with everybody because not everybody is trustworthy. Not everybody knows what they're doing. So how do you identify like really good projects and really good people? Because I know the project is only like 30%, because 70% is on the person. That person's going to make it or break it. So what are some of those qualities? We're not just knowing yourself, but now identifying others.
Totally, totally. You definitely, when you want to give an even, $1,000 or 10,000 or 500,000, you got to see who is the chief.
Or in your
I
case, a
call it.
$250,000, right, Vinny? Minimum investment.
No, I mean, but the thing is, you got to see who is bringing the deal to you. What's their track record? How many people are in the general partnership? Because I really believe if there are too many people, they can have fights, they can have lawsuits, a lot of bad things can happen. That's why I'm very careful who I associate with. And also when I put my money, it has to be at a very secure place. Somebody who can communicate to you. What reports do they provide? What's their track record? Have they closed the cycle? See, a lot of people, I just heard day before yesterday, 300,000 people in USA are underwater right now. Right now, 300,000. So there'll be even more so with maturity of loans coming, bridge loans coming. So 2023 is supposed to be a bad year, but bad year for some could be good year for others,
Always a good year for us, Vinny.
Yeah, exactly. I think lots of people who have good operators and they have the money and their investors are looking forward to investing money, it will be a fabulous year for them and us, Yep. You are right. You're right.
So that going into that is, it is about knowing yourself. Are you trustworthy? Like, can you attract trustworthy people? Because if you're not trustworthy, you're not going to attract trustworthy people, right? Like, you've got to know that about yourself before you go out there, either raising capital or before you go giving your money to somebody else. Are you a trustworthy person? How do you identify, whether somebody's like a good person to like put your money with? Like, what are some of the dead
definitely
giveaways?
You want to see where they are from, how long they've been in business, what their skill set is, and talk to some of their investors who have really been with them.
I like
for
that.
sure. For sure, because they'll tell you the candid. I know many times they will give you the best of the best, but you got to really, ask them to give them a list of people, and then you choose the bottom ones or something, Yeah, exactly. So you have to do the detective work. Nowadays, social media is very big, and, their websites and all, and then, what they own or don't own, all that stuff. A lot of operators combine their limited partnership into general partnership. What I mean that is, if they only put 50,000 in 400 units, they will put that 400 in their portfolio, which is wrong, totally wrong, because that's not theirs. They just invested money there,
Right.
So that's what I see. A lot of people are just, combining. They might have done 3 deals, but they say, I've done 10 deals, but that's not true because they just invested a little bit money in those. So you got to see through the noise, or wash it out, and then feel good about it. Somebody just told me, I was interviewing this week. He says, Vinny, it took me 1 year to look at the sponsor to put 50,000. 1 year to get convinced. It's amazing. So hard money is very hard money. Ponzi schemes in the SEC ruling and everything, Securities and Exchange Commission ruling, it cannot happen that much, but you got to be very aware because it's your hard-earned money, right?
That's right.
That's
right. And I agree. It takes, I've seen it take 6 months. I've seen it take 3 months. I've seen it take a year, 2 years, 3 years before somebody's willing to invest 50,000. So like, I think you do have to spend that time to get to know the person. I think it's really important.
Totally.
So knowing thyself, going back to the personality test, you already mentioned DISC. So I know that a lot of Alchemist Nation uses DISC. So you're using DISC. That's valuable.
Yes.
You're asking the right questions in an interview. What's another personality test maybe you've taken for yourself? Have you are you familiar with the 5 love languages? Have you read that book or gone through that
love
process?
languages. Is it from our Gray, Mr. Gray? He lives right here in San Francisco.
No way.
Yeah. Friend. Actually, my next door neighbor, she is very good friends with John Gray. And I'm meeting them probably in March, I think, Yeah.
Oh my God. Of course you are. So you got to read the book before you meet him. Have you read the book? Or yeah. Oh yeah, you got to read it. So what other personality tests have you taken over the years that you would recommend somebody try out?
I was thinking script comes to my mind. Myers, there are several ones. If you just Google them,
Yep.
you will come across, again, you want to see which ones will really satisfy your side of the business. Yeah, different, employees have to take different ones. The key thing is, what's your corporate culture? And what are you looking for? What's the ideal candidate?
Yeah.
And it's sometimes hard. It's very hard. I think hiring the right person is very, very tough, and the labor laws are there, fair housing laws are there, all those are there. So you got to be very apt. I know in my company, we hired HR consultant, payroll, and she was able to do all the hirings and well, I fired people. But the key thing was, she would choose from out of 20 top 5 or 3, and then my daughter and I will get involved. Because as a CEO, you want to see who's joining your, organization, and what's their motives, all that, and then make sure you're controlling, the communication, which comes with the email system and everything, so that you are able to retract and make sure if they leave that you're left behind. Oh yeah, exactly. And then
you got it all still. You keep it all.
Google Drive, everything, brother. Yeah. And which I learned, a very hard way, and some of my other people have told me, like, sometimes if you don't control the data and other things, they can mess you up. And then take away the passwords or change the passwords. You cannot ever get into it. So that's why I'm looking into G Suite right now, which I should have gone into it, where you can control the access and everything, by each team member.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing. We're learning more about G Suite and getting into it, where it's definitely huge for entrepreneurs, and most of it is free. Like almost everything on there is free.
Yeah.
So it's a really good resource. So, okay, tax strategies for the ultra rich, Vinney. I gotta dive into it. So we know thyself. If you don't know, you want to go deeper into it. We're gonna go 52 weeks to wealth. We've taught it last year. Wealth principle 47 is know thyself, and we're gonna go deeper into it on that challenge on the this Saturday call. But for right now, tax strategies of the ultra rich. I gotta know, Vinney. Like I've seen some of your spreadsheets. I've seen some of your PowerPoints. You are definitely the man when it comes to finances, like knowing how to move money this way, doing deals that create tax advantages for your investors. So if they had a big gain, like you're like, okay, like don't you do that deal, do this deal, because this one comes with depreciation on it. What are some of the high level tax strategies of that only work for the ultra rich, like only work like once you're earning like $250,000 a year and have a high net worth in your portfolio? What are some of the ones that come to top of your mind? Just first.
Sure. One thing definitely comes to me right now is that nothing can be done about last year. 2022 is bet to rest. You put it to rest, midnight of 31st. If all the expenses paid or income generated, we have to report on in the, our taxes and everything. The exciting part is it's good to have LLCs in your business, because then it's a way to really find that LLC could be, again, I'm talking about real estate. It's a pass-through entity. So you're able to take the total revenues and the expenses. If it's profits, then 70% in my case, those profits go to the investors. So they're having fun and they'll put them on each individual, taxes. But then 30% comes on my side of the business, usually in our case. But there are strategies like cost segregation, which in real estate is huge. If anybody, would like to find out more, at depreciation is straight line, total, we call it structure because land is not depreciated. And you could divide that by 39 years for commercial, but residential is 27.5. But cost segregation helps a lot to take bigger deduction, if I can say, in the first year, in the second, third year. That way you depreciate. It's a paper loss, which that paper loss gets given to the investors and you get it also. So that's the beauty of it, that you are able to strategize. But, it's good to really meet with your ultra rich. They always have tax strategists. That's the key.
Hey, what makes a tax strategist? Is this somebody who is a financial planner? Is it somebody who's an attorney? Is it somebody who's an accountant? Or is it somebody who's kind of like a combination of all three?
It's kind of, no, you cannot have, I think, attorneys and all. Maybe there are some people like that. Mostly I find the CPAs are the best tax strategists also, because they know the ins and outs, they know each line item, and they can help you what you're buying, what you're selling, whether you should sell a little later, what's the time period. That's a big one too, for being counted in the 1 year short-term gain or long-term. So they can advise you by actually meeting every quarter and sharing also what you might be doing. That's the key thing. Strategists can only help you if you tell them before you transact. They could help you to decide whether it's good to close after 30 days or 60 or 90 days, all those things. I'm not a CPA at all by any imagination, but I'm very analytical. So it's good to get an expert to really sit down with your situation, because what you will pay them as a fee, you're going to save multiples of that.
It's true. There's a lot of money to be saved just by having the right tax strategist. I think we're going to bring in my tax guy for names on deeds. When we talk about names on deeds on January 14th, I've talked to him a little bit, and he was like, man, like Trump, all of the Trump tax benefits, like they got picked apart, and they sent an email out or a letter out 2 weeks ago, and a lot of things are changing. So he was like, I'd like to tell AlchemistNation about it. I was like, well, all right, we're doing names on deeds January 14th. You come in and you can deliver some of this. And I know you're going to be there talking about multifamily syndication. So that'll be, and I'll shoot you a time, like best time for you to jump in.
I would love to.
Because it's like you need to know the tax stuff, right? So a good tax CPA who is also a tax strategist, not just this is not a traditional CPA. This is somebody who understands like you invest in crypto, right? So what are the implications of crypto? What are the implications of the stock market? What are the implications of your real estate? How do we depreciate some of this stuff a little faster? Cost segregation. It would be, they would be able to suggest maybe a living trust or doing a self-directed 401k, or maybe shifting to obviously they can't create the S corp, but maybe shifting to an S corp and getting yourself access to some of those like different features that you have as an S corp.
So true, brother. And what you were saying also, I was just thinking about, the stock market way down, right? 2022,
way down
10, 15, 18%. So you can only write off 3,000, just 3,000 deduction. But in real estate, the exciting part is you do leverage. First of all, in stock market, you have to pay full price to buy stocks and mutual funds and all that, index funds. But then in real estate, you only pay 25%, but you buy things worth 100%. So there's a leverage from the bank. The other good part is that the taxes in the real estate, the depreciation, paper loss, which is what is used, or 1031 is another one where you sell and the gain goes into the next deal and the next deal, all that. And self-directed IRAs and 401ks and EQRP, all those vehicles are there where you never pay taxes, because in those vehicles, you are able to defer the taxes. So there are beautiful. I know one of my very good friends, he's a great entrepreneur and makes a lot of money. He did not know that you could self-direct. I couldn't believe it. But that's a lot of people are like that.
Because they don't know the tax strategies.
Yeah.
They're great entrepreneurs. They're good at making money, but they're not good at protecting it.
So true, and so much money goes out, quickly. That's a lot of my my investors love me because they know that if I put $250,000 or $500,000, I'll give them 50%. I'm not saying that to everybody, but depending on your situation, what you invest, you can get that much loss, which gives you, less taxes to pay. Yeah.
So if somebody were like not knowing about taxes, where do they start to learn? Like they just go and get a good CPA and say, hey, like, how do you know you're at a point where it's time to get a better CPA?
That's a good point. I would say a lot of times people say, regular CPA is good, right? and they are able to do the kind of job that they want them to do, right?
Yep.
But again, my thinking is, please learn a little bit yourself, talk to your friends. But there are books also. Tom Wheelwright has a great book, from Robert Kiyosaki Camp, right?
Yep.
I ordered that too. And the, Loopholes, I think it's called, all that. Yeah.
Loopholes, yeah.
Got it. Great one, great book. I remember that. So, it's very, very possible. It's good that we get motivated to find out what, and you don't need to learn everything in this book, but it will give you some ideas. And then you are able to talk to, if your income is coming certain way, then it's good to talk to somebody else in your circle who also might be in your situation. See, many times we don't seek out help. We should seek out help because somebody might have researched and they found this good tax strategist. I changed my CPA. My CPA is amazing now, and the good part is he's on top and everything, and he's able to advise and all. We have five CPAs actually, sorry. Five CPAs, yeah, because different properties through different CPAs in different states. Then we have 2 in California right now,
Wow. So that's not where everybody has to be, but that's kind of where you're at right now.
Yes, exactly. No.
Good problems, Vinney.
One is good, brother. One is good.
One is good. So some of the tax strategies, the ultra rich, we talked about them today. There's obviously a lot more. We'll be probably releasing more of that. I know you and I just agreed we're going to do a training for goal setting. We saw Rod Cleef put out an email, and I said, man, I would love to do this for our community.
Love to do it.
I do strongly suggest if you missed Rod Cleef's, then I'm going to see if we can do one with Vinney sometime towards the end of January. If you got to go to Rod Cleef's, then awesome. Take action on the things that you set up already.
Sure.
The idea of goal setting, Vinny's got notes of his goals from 34 years ago, Vinney?
Yeah. I'll show you. I mean, in real life, I'll show all these. My book goal sheet is this big with neon paper outside. I need to open it up, bring it out, and I'll show that. Yeah, at the seminar.
I can't wait because I have the same thing. I have my notebooks on the side here, and every year I punch out some things. I drop them into folders, like the best of the best. I just kind of move it along because I want to keep track. I want to see where I came from and what seemed so impossible before. And now I look at it and it's been done. How did all that happen, Vinney? How did all that get done?
I love it.
Dan, I appreciate you taking your time today. I know you finally got the power back, so you get to go and catch up on some things.
Yes.
It's raining, so you're going to be indoors. I know you got other meetings coming up today.
I got the exercise, brother. A miracle morning is so important. I'd like to say that to everybody watching us or who will watch later on also. Please find time to exercise, to take care of your body. Our life is only when the body is good. Health is wealth. We always say that, but we don't practice it. So I have cut down on sugar. I've cut down on few things. I've made decisions. With 3 days light going off, this was a blessing in disguise. We threw away this big, all these frozen things and all that, we didn't need that. And I had 4 maybe boxes of ice creams and all. So God just gave me an avenue to throw it without fear. And, they're all going away. And, my snacking in the nighttime, I'm not doing no more, all that. So my weight has gone down 3 pounds, literally in the last 4 or 5 days. So I love it. And that's the motivation we should really be thinking. What is going to really make me happy? What's going to make my weight a little less so that I can be more energetic and I could give the best to the world? Because the ultimate goal is to live longer, to give more and more to your relationships, to your family, to your people that you love, and their livelihood is, relying on you and so on like that. So
Vinney Chopra, 200 years old, man. I see it coming.
Yeah,
we got 130 years left. Let's go.
So it's exciting that we are talking about it first of the year. A lot of time people make resolutions, but those resolutions are there, but commitment and persistence and continuity. You got to do it each week or each day. That's the beauty of it, But if you miss it, if I miss my exercise in the morning, I do come up here. If it's still raining out there, I come up here and then do that 45 minutes, or 35, 45, or even an hour. Like my next meeting,
I've
I'll
been
be doing
tracking you,
here
Vinney.
also.
I don't know if you just do this on Thursdays, but I've been tracking you, for the
Yes.
past couple of months we've been doing this.
Yeah.
Every single Thursday, you're out exercising, you're walking, you're inside
No,
on
I
your
do 7 days
elliptical,
a week, brother. 7
days a
7
week. I believe it. I know it.
Yeah.
And I
No,
gotta
it's
say,
wonderful.
I think hanging out with you, you've rubbed off on me because I stopped the snacking about 3 days ago. Maybe it was a little more, maybe 7 days ago. I stopped snacking at night. I said, you know what? This is not serving me anymore. I'm done. I got rid of all the sugar treats. I got rid of the cookies. I got rid of the chips. That was my worst, was the chips at night.
Yes.
So thank you, Vinney. I'm on the same track with you, man. I want to live a long time. Got a lot of people to serve, and I'm thankful to be on this journey with you, man. You're
Totally. And let's remind everybody, please do chime in every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon with abundance mindset with Vinney and Walter, brother. And then I do 9 a.m. I change my time for Vinney and Bo's show tomorrow. So Friday, you get double dose. You get Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. also. We change the time from 9:30 to 9 a.m. and we go live in 16 channels through Restream is our software there. So thank you so much, Walter. Happy New Year to everybody and to you and Dorina. And looking forward to a fabulous year. It's up to us what happens in our life. It's totally up to us. And, if it's not happening, the good things are not happening, it's due to us too. It's totally us. I mean, we look for excuses. We look for different things outside us. But you know what? Let's look inside because the solution lies within.
That's the truth. I see a bunch of people in the chat saying yes, take the test. So obviously they're taking the 5 level English test we are talking about. So Vinny's going to read his book this month. He's going to meet his new friend. For everybody who is listening to us, thank you so much for listening to what Vinney is sharing, and even more thanks for your commitment to yourself, your dedication to improving yourself so you can continue improving other people's lives. This is not always going to be easy, but you keep showing up, and the fact you keep showing up, you keep taking action, that's what's creating your results. So share this with somebody who needs to hear it. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Cheers.